We're going to start now. So again, good morning, everyone. By the okay, so by the way, class, maybe later, our new dean of the College of Art Sciences, Dr. Tracy Entakuban, our former department head, will be with us. So maybe just coming pa siya. So enter lang siya sa klase later on, I think, or nasa salakyan niya. Okay. So for now, we're going to start na lang sa aton nga klase and then later on masulod lang niya si ma'am. By the way, class, how are you now today? I hope you're
To
doing
you,
well.
ma'am.
To you, good why? Because you're studying for your final exam. Right? Or maybe you have your kabisihan like watching videos and whatsoever. Especially this time, it's pandemic, so you have a lot of time to um, have ano siya ng movie marathon, right? So this time class, our final exam is fast approaching, and that will be on next week na. So it's December 14 to 17. I'll just post later on class ang aton nga schedule for our final term. So anyway, class, after our class discussion later, I will be giving you an announcement pertaining to our final exam and other concerns. All right? Wait lang, class. I'll just get some ano wait, wait lang. Because class every required to starting November, we are required to have a accomplishment report. It's either be asynchronous or synchronous. So I need an evidence of this. Wait lang ha. All right. So class, our today's lesson is we will be focusing on the internet and World Wide Web. Of course, this would be our last topic now for the final term. I hope that you check already class or scan already our materials uploaded in the FB Social Learning Group regarding the application software and the storage as well. Wait lang. So here class, I already uploaded there sa aton nga ano nga FB Social Learning Group from our Unit 5. We call ang sa ano application software, and at the same time the storage, and the last here is the internet and World Wide Web, and I hope that actually those lessons you have I think you encountered this already during your high schools and even in your grade 11 and 12, right? Sa inyong subject na computer. So here, uh, class, for our objectives on today's lesson, of course, I will discuss to you the evolution of the internet. I will explain also how to access and connect to the internet, identify the components of a web address, explain the purpose of a web browser, describe the types of uh, websites. Then class is wait. Also is we're going to know that and how the web pages use graphics, animation, audio, virtual reality, and plugin. Also, we're going to describe the types of e-commerce because nowadays damo na gid siya naga-exist nga e-commerce, especially sa mga different platforms. And then identify the rules of etiquette. So it's very important, especially sa subong nga pandemic, you know about the for internet etiquette. So here, class, when we say internet, what comes in your mind? Internet.
Wi-Fi.
Yes, Wi-Fi. What else? In Wi-Fi, you can connect with the internet, right? So here, class, especially at this time, we are using this every day, and especially man sa inyo class, you use this every day just to continue your education through distance learning. Through internet, we can communicate, right? And then class, as you notice that or in imagine you class if um ang life natin if it's it's not easy to imagine that the life without internet nowadays, 'di ba? So because class the internet is the world's largest internet. So here, as you can see here, internet is a worldwide collection of networks that connects millions of businesses. So that is why class most of the businesses man siya, especially man sa subong kay pandemic, they usually used Facebook and other social learning media for them to advertise their business. And then also in government agencies, educational institution, and individual. So it is very important to have an internet nowadays because unlike from previews sang sinauna pa, we can live well without internet kasi if you have during the mga old days na bala, bisan wala internet, okay lang. Kapin pa ilabi na gid sa uma ka gaste, do hindi mo man siya gyap maano class ma think sa self mo nga, oh, I need this internet, blah blah blah, blah and whatsoever. Right? So all in all class, there are innumerable networks within the internet today. And then class, we're in here, as you can see in this picture, that where in each of the networks on the internet provides resources. Wait for a moment. Amarador. Okay. Again, class, the internet provides resources that add to the abundance of goods. Patricio. Abundance of goods, mga iba, ano pagit, other information accessible via internet. So actually, class, ma'am, I've experienced that in my master's degree that we can, ano lang gid ya class is my master's is through ano siya distance learning. So it's very important to have the internet because class, if you have no internet, so sad to say, especially if your teacher is strict, knowing that your course is via distance education, so it is ano gid siya class, understood that ano na siya ng dapat may kasang stable internet connection because maybe because class it's not the fault of a teacher if he can't connect with him or her. So that is why internet today is amo na siya ka vital sa aton nga life subong. So here class, as you can see, um, the internet originated as ARPANET. But before that class, the internet has its roots in a networking project by the ARPA. So when we say naman ARPA, before siya nag-ARPANET, nag-ARPA na siya. So ARPA stands for Pentagon's Advanced Research Projects Agency. So this agency is a U.S. Department of Defense. So this network called as ARPANET, nag-ano na siya, this originated in September 1969, and this had two main goals. So the purpose of this actually is to build a network that allows scientists different physical locations to share information and work together on military and scientific project, and then at the same time that could function even in part for the network where disabled or destroyed by a disaster. For example, class, when a disaster comes, among ang their time is if there is a nuclear attack. That is why it's very important for them na meron siya sang internet that time man. Actually, 1969 is, kung sa diri naman sa Philippines, is hindi, wala pa siya gid. Okay? And then in 1969, ARPANET becomes functional. So here, by 1984, ARPANET has more than 1,000 individual computers linked as hosts. So by ano naman siya, today millions and now today millions of hosts connect to the internet. By the way, class, are you familiar with what you call this one host? In your own understanding, what is it? Host. It's a short for
Core.
ano siya? You can consider this as a network host, especially there is a school class. So in this time class, it's more commonly known today as e-server. So this is any computers that provide services, and at the same time the connections to other computer and other devices. So in short, class, this actually refers to a computer device which help we're into communicate with other hosts on a network. So it's a network host. Here, connecting to the internet, of course, as we observe nowadays that um, users can connect with the computers and the mobile devices to the internet through wired, or we call it may ara man siya subong, especially wireless connect technology, and then access its services, may it be free or for FE. So as you can see here, class, with wired connections, of course, uh, wired connection, for example, ang mga DSL, what else, uh, serviced with the, anong ganit siya, Globe, Sun, Smart, and whatsoever iya man na sa PLDT, kasi Smart kasi PLDT, ano na siya, class ng combine na siya. And then here is that sa wired, this is physically attached as via cable or wire to a communications device. So here, for example, such as modem. Si modem naman, class, as you can see, kung if you're using broadband, of course, this data transmits and other items over transmission media to the internet. So it's easy to have to study if you have an internet connection, may it be wired or wireless. So here, with computers class, without the communications device can use a wireless modem or other communications device, and it enables wireless connectivity. So here, a wireless modem class is, for example, uses a wireless communication technology such as this time, some of us gagamit ng cellular radio, satellite, or Wi-Fi to connect to the internet. So as you can see here in this picture, this shows an examples of modems. As you can see here, there is a dongle. Have you experienced using this wireless modem? Because class in have you experienced this?
Sa
Yeah,
computer.
dongle.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
amo na siya ang Smart Pro, Globe Tattoo, may Sun. I just know kay wala ko nakagigamit sang Sun. So we're using this actually experienced this in my college days that wala pagid kami sang mga we call this ano kay syempre kumbaga budgeted before. So I'm using this also, but compared with broadband, kalayo gid siya katama class. So this wireless modem class shown this picture is called this dongle, wherein class it's a small device that connects to a computer. As you can see here, this attached to your computer that enables additional functions when attached. As you can see, kay kung hindi mo na siya pag-attach and to connect with your computer, hindi siya mag-function, unlike with broadband. Because class, um, today, often users connect with internet using broadband internet, because as you notice, class, um, the data of broadband rather than using a dongle is different uh, of its fast data, and of course the when transferring when data transfers, its speeds and its ang ini siya is broadband is always on siya, unlike sa dongle is it is you can appreciate this if ga-touch lang gid siya sa imo nga computer, right? So class, through broadband of course, it's ano siya, it's a big fast compared with this dongle because in this you can download web pages quickly, play online games, especially this time may kita game nga ML. I think all of you here or most of you here are playing ML, right? So kung mag-ML naman ka mo, you need stable connections or might be magpa-load lang ka mo using mobile data. So it's good that you have internet connection. It's better that if nubo naman ang inyong internet, medyo galag ang inyong ano nga when playing an ML, right? So here, when connecting to the internet, of course, you have to know the wired and wireless. So as you can see here, this examples actually is a wired and wireless broadband. So this technologies for home and small business user. As you can see here, so wired we have cable internet service. So cable internet service naman class, amo na siya ang ginagamit naton niya sa for television, DSL is digital subscriber line naman siya sa PLDT and whatever subscribers subong. And then we have here fiber to the premises or FTTP. So as you can see here, short for Wi-Fi. We have here wireless fidelity, mobile broadband, fixed wireless, and then satellite and internet service. By the way, class, if you have questions later, don't be shy. Do not be hesitate to ask a question. Just click your what you call this one raised hand option, or you can send a message in our um, group chat or group chats, your chat box. So I think class, are you familiar with hotspot?
Yes,
Ac-
ma'am.
Okay, very good. Because class hotspot is already known to all of us, and then because as we observe class, many public locations such as class sa mga malls, coffee shops, restaurants, schools, sa diin pa sa airports and sa hotels have hotspot. So as you can see, hotspot is a wireless network. As you can see in this image, it provides internet connections to mobile computers and devices. So although ang inyong host, we call this one hotspots, enable as you can notice sa iba na siya may ano siya as you notice unrestricted or naka-open access siya class. So some actually class require nag-require na siya sang password to using their internet. So class is very important to know the surfing nga safe man bala ka mo to they are using their hotspot. For example, class kung sa hotel naman, of course, you have to ask password from their front desk. Of course, using free service class, you can be risky sometimes, but you need to consider also that it is you need data in your phone, in your laptop, and for a safer browsing, maybe later on, may nulsulan yung gina siya, you will be regret later on nga nag-connect ka without securing your files, right? Here we have internet service provider. So sa internet service provider class, this is actually known sometimes called as internet access provider. So usually susubong naman ginagamit naton ISPs, internet service provider. So here this ISP, of course, who can read this one class? What the ISP is? Please, Please read. Right? Service provider is what you call this one, or in your own words class, sa pag-intindi nyo, what is service provider?
To provide
Anyone?
internet.
Yes. What else? Information about this. Actually, class ISP is ano na siya class often charge fixed amount. For example, si PLDT or si PLDT or si Globe nag-ano na siya class ng there is a ilang customer to have an internet connection offering a variety of plans. For example, kung 3 Mbps, it's worth 900 plus. Kung above, like I think kung 5 Mbps, it's a amounting to 1 to I think. So that's their uh, uh, plan nila dira silang service. Si Moreno. Wait lang ha. Okay. Igasulod pa nga classmates nyo. And then here, class, I can see, as you notice, that with internet, there is a bandwidth. Of course, bandwidth represents the amount of data that travels over a networks because as we observe class in bandwidth, of course, there is a bandwidth means more data transmit. So here, kung ang data sizes class is typically or stated in terms of byte or gigabyte. So when we say naman megabyte, it's a equal to or approximately 1 million characters. Unlike naman sa GB, it's uh, 1 billion characters. Okay? As you know, this man, when attending a webinar, especially sa Subong, ang organizer or the moderator, of course, ano na siya, request sila to off your video cam or your camera so that makalesen na siya magnubo sang ilang uh, uh, kag magnami ang ilang bandwidth. Okay, especially kung damo ang participants, so they are requiring that to off your video. Okay. Next here, as you can see, this in connecting to the internet, of course, this how data travels to the internet using, of course, the cable internet service, as you can see in this image. So, as you can see here, computers and devices to the internet, of course, work together to transfer data from here sa imong nga balay, sa sulod sa imong nga balay, of course, may ara kada sang modem, your internet connection, this work you together to transfer data around the world using server, appliance, and various wired and wireless transmission media. So in using this, it will travel to and receive by certain person. So here, of course, we need to know also the IP address. Address means, ano siya, stands for?
Internet protocol.
Yes, very good. It's Internet Protocol. So it's a sequence of numbers identifies each computer or device connected to internet. For example, here sa school may rakit IP address in certain computers or the intada nga office here, the internet relies on addressing system much like the portal services to send data to a computer or devices. So, of course, we have here a domain. Ang domain naman na siya is a text-based name that corresponds to the IP address. So, IP address of a server that hosts a website at a specific destination. So here, as you can see, class, a DNS server translates domain name into its associated IP address. As you can see here, we have IP version for address, wherein C IP version for address. For example, here 74.125.224.72 has its defined 32-bit format, as you can see here. Unlike CIP version 6, it's a 128 it's format. So amo na siya ang most recent subong nga version sang IP. And then we have here the domain name, of course, google.com. Ano siya ang top level domain or TLD. So this is widely used version um, of the IP. Any questions so far? Here, of course, we have the original TLDs or top level domain. So as you can see, we have here .com. You know already what this means for, what is this is intended for. .edu, .gov, .mil, .net, .org. Here, mabalaan nyo man na class. For example, .isatu.edu.ph. So it's this for educational institutions. And then we have here um, here the domain name of how a browser displays a requested web page. Of course, we have here the domain name system, or DNS. This is actually the method that the internet we call this one the to store domain names and their corresponding addresses. As you can see here, this is shows how users store a domain. For example, google.com. Of course, this uses a DNS server to display a web page. For example, here, if you type google.com, of course, ang ma-appear is the page of Google. And then, as you can see, there is IP4, IP6. As you can see here, makita nyo amo niya siya ang procedure nila. So we have here also we have to know also World Wide Web. So in your own understanding class, pag intindi nyo, especially as you are first time nyo pa mabatian, so what comes in your mind? WW, or we call it web.
Information libraries.
What else? Any? Actually, class, this web is as you can see here in our definition, it consists of worldwide collection of electronic documents web pages. So when sa web pages naman class, this contains na siya sa or this includes na siya sang text, graphics, audio, videos, amo na siya may mga animation that you usually did kung mag-research ka mo or surfing in an internet. So as you can see here, wherein you can see in the internet that class that this was developed in saan gani siya sa 1960s. So as we discussed kagina about the ARPANET. So this was developed originated in September 1969. So here, this actually the WW emerged to the early 1990s. So as an easier way to access online information using a browser. That is why there is a different types of, or we call it different nga klase sang browser. For example, we have Google whatsoever. This is usually actually Google browser always. So here, as you all know, class, as you can see here, we have website. Of course, you know already. Maybe later on, you can work. Of course, you can work a website. You can develop a website for organization. So this is actually the collection of related web pages and associated items of, for example, documents, what else, photos, kung ano na i-include nyo sa inyong website later on. So actually class, web pages nga tawag naton if you are familiar with that static. So kung maghambal naman kamo static, it's a fix wherein you can view magka-display siya. For example, sa isatu.edu.ph, from there sa home, it's static because you can only view sang ilang data. Unlike sa dynamic, it's changing wherein maka-generates na siya. For example, dito as you can see, meron siya sang wherein maka-check ka mo sang grade. So it's a dynamic. So any questions so far? Questions, class?
None. None.
Question. Okay. Can here web server. So web server E is a computer that delivers web pages to your computer. Kung ano that request mo, so amo na siya ang ma-appear sa imo nga browser kung ano na siya ang imo gina-research. So we have here actually the web 2.0. So here, as you can see, amo na siya ang website nga means for users to share and personal information. So sa personal information naman na class, it's a social it's a social learning, social online social networks. For example, mga other available social media right now, kung ano na ginagamit ninyo. Then we have here allow users to modify content or we call it, for example, wikis. Ano na siya. And then you have here provide applications through a browser. So of course, it's web applications. Okay. So we have here browser. So when we say browser class, what are those? What are the other examples we have right now? Because depende
Google.
naman na sa inyo. Yes, what else? Ano pag ginagamit nyo? Actually, class ang Google is, yes, very good. We have
Mozilla
Firefox,
Firefox.
yes, Mozilla, what else? Ang Safari, kung ano pa da nga browser ginagamit nato that we are usually using. You are always using Google browser. So here, maghambal gani kita browser. It's a application that enables users with an internet connection to access to and view web pages on a computer or mobile device. So, sa homepage, for example, kung mag-research ka, when isatu.edu.ph, of course, ang ma-appear sina is their landing page or homepage. Okay? So, the current browsers typically support tab browsing, of course. We're in the top, for as you can see here, the top shows wherein this is a similar file to a folder tab. Ano na siya. Una, asubong may, as you can see, may nito, di ba? You can depende sa inyo class. So here we have a web page. Of course, there is a unique address called a web address or URL. So URL stands for, ano na siya? Are you familiar with that? URL is
Yes.
resource,
Result
uniform.
location.
Yes, very good. It's uniform resource locator. For example, web address of isatu.edu.ph. So there, this identifies the isatu homepage. Unlike here, this is a sample of the site of the U.S. Department of the Interior. This one, the Interior National Park Service of the U.S. Amo ni siya ilaya. Let's say, for example, the nps.gov, pabalaan nyo man na kung ano siya. So, for example, if you click this one, sa about us, of course, ang ma-appear sa path na class is this one man siya. Kung webpage.name, kung ano na siya ang gigamit nila diri. Kamu class kapag gusto kung ano ibutang yun, dapat it should be related to your content. Okay? And then class, as you notice that retrieves web page using its, ano gani siya, web address or its URL. Okay? Here, web app. So sa web app naman class, it's a actually users typically interact web apps directly on a website. And then sometimes it's referred to as a host. As we discussed kanina, it's a network host. So as you can see here, web app hosts usually provide storage for users' data and information on their servers known as cloud storage. So are you cloud storage?
Yes, ma'am.
We have, yes. What are the other example of cloud storage?
Google Drive.
Nowadays, we're using this.
OneDrive.
OneDrive,
Google
yes,
Drive.
very good. Google Drive and many other drive kung ano pa da nga cloud storage we are using. Okay? So class, we notice class that many web app hosts access to certain software. For example, class web or mobile apps or in class they enabling you to access your content. For example, sa Google Drive, you can share that to your friends or you know, mana i-share nyo dira. Of course, if you want to to protect it or there is a permission, of course, you have to click man na siya sa setting kung it is publicly displayed. Pwede na siya sa maka-edit, maka-view and whatsoever. Depende sa inyo. That is why as you notice man sa other nga sharing, dapat there is a permission before you access it. Amo na siya gina-notify gid na siya ang author sina. Then we have here search engine. Are you familiar with the search engine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is it? So, sometimes ma-confuse naman kita klasang browser and search engine. So, si browser is a piece of ano gani siya? Software wherein that class that you can retrieve and display web pages. Unlike naman si class is si search engine, actually a website that helps people find web pages from other websites. For example, if you are going to search is that you that edu that page, of course, see search engine, it will help you to like locate it. So there is a for as you can see here that finds website, web pages, images, videos, news, maps, and other information related to is topic to add topic wherein you search on it. Okay. Then we have here subject directory. So of course, the subject directory naman, this provides um, this categorize the a list of links. As you can see here, this organized set of categories such as sports, kung ano man da, let's say shopping and related subcategory. So this will locate you to a particular topic by, of course, click linking or whatsoever. That is why makita nyo na sometimes sa search engine may aron na siya sang mga subcategory directory na i-click. So we're in sa website, it will turn into the next page. Amo na siya ginatawag naton nga subdirectory. Okay? So here we have here the um, list of some operators you can use in the search text. Find searches. When we say search text, it's a what do you call that one? This describe the what do you call this one? The item you want to find. Amo na siya ang search text. Okay. Then here we have the search engine. So as you can see here, the operator, what is it all about? For examples, we have here, for example, dog or puppy. So what is it? What is all about? So may na siya kaisa nga kung mag-research kita, gina-type lang da naton and then this will appear kung anong gina-research niyo, okay? Next one here, we have to know also the types of websites. So there are several types of website. Ano na siyang search engine? We have discussed that the business and then online social network. Amo naman na siya class ang, for example, this social networking site is, ano na siya ang mga example. We're in class, we have, you can follow. For example, we have Facebook, Twitter, ano pa gina siya? Instagram, inyo class if ano ang inyo nga is joinan. So this actually nag-encourage na sa class ang mga members to ano ganina siya or users to join in their online community to share ideas, thoughts, stories, and whatsoever. Then sa informational and research naman class, one a website as a contains factual information. So for example, we have here libraries, of course, encyclopedias, kung ano pa dira nga information sites. So we have here media sharing. So of course, sa media sharing naman class, you can, as you all know, that this manage and share media such as mga photos, videos, audios, and whatsoever. Bookmarking naman class, if you are aware of that, amo na siya naman ang ginagamit naton sa for example sa mga online content. As you can see, sino diri sa inyo nagaano sang Pinterest, naga-subscribe? As you can see sa Pinterest naman class is we are lang sa picture and there is a short caption there kung for example ang pangitaon mo is mga sample sang ano gani sample sang mga design sang Adobe Photoshop. So basically ano ka na niya direct sa amo na siya. So makita niyo na siya kung ano siya naka-vector, gradient, kung ano nga design nga gusto mo. So sa news naman, whether sports and other mass media, of course, this contain notes, of course, material including mga stories and other articles relating to uh, current events, life, and etc. So, of course, you have to know also the website. So, do you have any example about the educational website? Because class there are a lot of website nowadays nga free siya. Pero may ara man siya nga you have to subscribe nga with the fee. Okay, for example, we have Massive or we call it MOOCs. What else? We have Coursera, EDX, ano pa na da nga mga educational website. So, if you have time that class sa Coursera this time, I think ano na siya nang end na nila nga promo or their scholar wherein you can enroll there of their short courses. And then we have also um, ano pa na siya, ongoing, and maybe I can share it to you later on. Okay, next one here is business, governmental, and educational. Balaan nyo naman na siya. What is all about the background of that government agency and whatsoever. Then blogs here, class. Gamit ka mo sini blogs. For example naman, class, here is that may kita sang blogspot, ano pa da kung ano if you are fond of writing, having a journal, so dira na ka mo wherein you share your stories, your diaries, and whatsoever. And then there is someone man class nga nagafollow sa imo nga blog. Here we have wiki and collaboration. I think I forgot. Yes. So we have here wiki and collaboration. The example of this is Wikipedia. So this is more on ano siya, collaborating articles, ideas, and on a certain topic actually. In here we have health and fitness. Of course, if you want to know about the health, kung ano gina-research kamo, for example, if you want to flatten your tummy, course, this will direct you on the site wherein i-research mo lang na siya sa Google or any browser. When it comes naman sa science nga no nga site, it's of course about some physics, astronomy, and whatsoever. Entertainment, actually entertainment, it's just a one. It's more on streaming. Si banking and finance naman classes usually if you experience that kung if you have ila sa bangko, of course, you have to do is surf, just open your web, your computer or your mobile app. If you have to transfer, you can pay bills and whatsoever. Then travel and tourism naman class, of course, this is a site wherein, especially kung wala tani ng pandemic, of course, you going to do is that you have to check that sa internet kung ano ang namin naman nga travel spots, travel places nga patok sa subong nga tinion. So, you have to do is check sa internet. mapping. Sa mapping naman class, of course, through maps, of course, you can go to your you can go in a certain place, for example, sa tultul, kung diin ang Mega World, diin ang Amuni. Of course, you have to do is use the Google Map, or you can use actually Maze. Pwede depende sa inyo kung ano na siya ang mas comfortable sa inyo nga gagamiton. We have here retail and auctions. For example of this, we have Lazada, the Shopee, we have Amazon. So you can purchase whatever you want there. If you want to purchase books sa Amazon, if you want to have RTW sa di na siya sa Lazada or whatever sa Shopee, dira na siya di mo makita. Okay, we're in naman class and the employment website, of course. Any example of this class? Here is an employment. Of course, kung gusto mong mangita obra, you have to do is check gyapon sa internet, di ba? What specific ano class? What specific like for example, ano siya? It's a for example is a subscript kung ano man da nga website. All you have to do is check that sa internet, and this will appear, and it will appear na siya sa inyo nga um sa inyo nga page kung ano na siya, may corresponding ano man na siya, kung diin ano nga website. But of course, this all careers and employment. So we have here actually e-commerce also. So magambalaman kami kita e-commerce, of course, this is electronic commerce, right? So sa electronic commerce naman class, there is a lot of goods and services there. Sa commerce, sa e-commerce, of course, there is a most um daw siya gina-offer, may mga portals man da, kung ano man siya ang mga products ng ila nga ginabaligya, may ara man siya nga free, may ara man siya um nga may bayad. And then class, as you can see, if you want to search about sang laptop, ang mga other ICT, have it. Then we have your portals. Sa portals naman class, of course, amo na siya class ang usually ginagamit sa government agencies. For example, CHED. So may si CHED naman niya sa mga scholars, mayroon na siya portal for their e-library. So usually, for example, we have ano ng ano gani nga mga portals ng CHED sa library. We have Britannica. What else? Kung ano pa da class nga educational portals nga gina-share nila, but it's all about educational class. But may depende naman class, may other mga portal, for example sa government, they are using their online, depende. So if you're aware of that also, content aggregation, this is actually known as ano naman siya, curation curation website. We're in class, ang users, this collect and we call this one compile content. For example, variety of websites that uh, if that pertains to a particular topic or themes kung ano na siyang imo nga ipangitaon. For example, if you want to research about sa mga data analytics, of course sang all the collections sang relating sa musina. Then we have your of course the website creation and management. Sa in that class, either sa dira that when creating a website class, of course, you have to know that for example, by creating own businesses, for example, and other individuals convey information to your respective clients. Okay, as you can see, there are billions of people na where new website makainganyo sa inyo. It will convey you, right? So, with that, si ano naman siya class, this actually, ang website is that This provide tools that support the steps in web publishing, ang aton nga web creation and management. So here, as you can see, publishing is the creation and maintenance of website. Of course, you have to know is when creating a website, of course, you as a designer or if you intend later on to work a website in your project, of course, you have to plan the website. So with that class, you, of course, you have to identify kung ano na siya class ang purpose ng imong nga website, the characteristics of it, kung ano ang imong nga clients. Of course, you have to consider that. And then, of course, dapat anon mo man na siya nga ang imong website is that you have to register the desired domain name. For example, is that you? Of course, this is all about the educational. So is.edu.ph, and then this also you have to know that how the visitors navigate the website. Dapat ang yung website is friendly and intuitive. So design the website. When designing a website class, you have to consider the we call this one the appearance and the layout or elements of your website. You have to ano na siya sang color, ang design sang imong website, kung ano na siya ang wherein your website, dapat you have to consider that also. Then create the website. So of course, when creating a website, you don't need to be a expert programmer or expert developer because nowadays class we have existing website that you have to do is edit other functions there. And then class, when creating class the website, of course, you have to know the several options. For example, class, ang CMS or call this content management system, if you're aware in that, I think because since your first year pa, you have siya amo naka-dip. But if you experience that some previous in your college, in your high school, in your senior high, I think you have a basic information about that. Wherein kung si content management system naman class is a tool wherein you can create, you can and later on you can host content of your website. And then class, you can also consider the option that you have to use the features of web processing program. May arap man na siya. If you want to start from a very basic, of course, this will enable you to create basic content and graphics. Okay. Next one is ano na siya class is host the website. Of course, in hosting a website, there is a free and with a fee website. So that is why class so web hosting, of course, you have to know that free, of course, may man siya nga fee. So because there are sometimes class na may website nga free, like for example sa CNS mayroon na siya. Depende class sa inyo nga ano nga site nga gina subscribe. So of course, a web hosting service, this provides storage and space on a web browser for a reasonable monthly fee. Amo na siya nga gitawag naton nga after pila ka days may bayad sa first month mo or pila na ka period may wala siya sang free, but later on may arable siya nga free, may fee. And then class, of course, that um as you notice, many ISP, or we call it internet service providers, offer a web hosting services to their customers for free. But later on, there is of course, a monthly fee. Not all the time that in certain website, free lang ya per me. Okay. So when hosting, when for the to maintain the website, of course, you have to consider naman klasang we call it naman the um, sang as a developer or programmer, as the owner of that website, you have to actually update, or we call this to maintain the website. Amo na siyang ka-importante class. Then here we have digital media on the web. So as you can see here, what do you say multimedia? What comes in your mind? Multimedia. Ano na sa class?
Videos.
Video. What else?
Music.
Wow. Okay, you can have it video, as you can see here, audio, animation, graphics, and virtual reality. So as you can see here, for graphic, of course, as you can see here, it is a visual representation of non-technological. As you can see in this picture, many web pages use colorful graphics to convey messages, as you can see here. If it is all about animals, of course, balanon mo man na siya. Kung ano na siya ang design sa imo nga website. Of course, dapat it will convey to your customer. So as you can see, we have here thumbnail, plus it's a thumbnail is a small ano siya, version of larger image, or in class if you click this one, this will display the full size of image. Okay, so depende na siya kung wherein you can see that ang iya extension is BMP, big PNG, and TIFF. Then we have here the infographic. This is short for information. It's commonly used by everybody, especially when hosting or organizing an we call this one um, a program or a seminar. Of course, if you want to convey or attract the clients or customers, of course, namiun nyo siya ang infographic so that um, wherein sa infographic class gina-shorten na sa nimo ang let's say for example objectives ng imo nga seminar. Meron ano siya sa mga additional ek-ek, mga drawing. Basta the it's all about to your purpose. Okay. So here we have animation. As you can see here, example class, text that animates sang ano gani tawag naton sini sang scrolling across the screen. For example, ko is about the ang daw stick lang na siya bala nga if you want that, of course, siya matawag naton animation. Usually, GIF is extension sang animation if you try to search that. And then usually class actually the web-based games often use the animation. So here we have audio, of course. Audio on the with this on the web you can listen to audio clips or live. So depende sa imo if you have your music songs there, you can have it if you have a media player sa imong laptop, like say for example VLC media player and whatsoever. Next one is virtual reality. Ay, video. So sa video class, purpose niya is that you can view clips or watch live videos. For example, we have sa YouTube, sa Facebook, and whatsoever. Kita nyo man dira. Then we have here in this picture the virtual reality. So here, um, have virtual reality. Can see here we have the 3D, subong mayroon naman 4D, kung ano pa da nga DD. Ano, class, ano subong ang pinaka nga virtual reality? Of course, nga design. We have, of course, when we say class, it's the use of computers to simulate a real or imagined environment that appears as a three-dimensional space. For example, kung class to play sa siya sa Manila sa ano siya siya 3D, if you want to travel in that world, of course you can really feel the reality of that environment. Okay, we're also here we have plug-in. So sa plug-in, it's actually you can find this sa most browsers class that have the capability of displaying basic add-ons, or we call it the plugins. As you notice, class, sometimes there additional program. That is why you need to install that in your browser. For example, sa Google, if I want to ano siya, if may plugin ang akon nga browsers, I have to do is to install. Actually, and then usually ara na da sa Play Store, or you can have it, i-search mo lang siya, and then just add sa imo nga Chrome, or you can I forgot that one, the term of that, but you have to add that sa Chrome. Then sometimes, for example, is Adobe Flash. Kung ang Adobe Flash is wala sa imo nga browser, gina-ask ka gid na sa imo, first, especially if you're watching videos sa website, gina-pa-install gina sa inyo so that you can watch the video. Okay? Next one is email. So I think you're familiar with this already. That email is short for electronic. So you can communicate with your colleagues, with your friends, and add in certain locations. For example, if you have your family, of course, you have to do is email na lang. Because sometimes, sa ibang nga company, what I mean is other places, gina-block ang social media. They have email. Okay? So, email program naman, class, this is available for desktop apps, web mobile apps. You can create, send, receive forwards, or print and delete images. Okay, when sending a message, class, it's up to you if you're gonna have a document to attach, audio, and video clip. Okay. Next one is, this is actually illustrates how an email message sender to a receiver. As you can see here, if you're going to send a message, of course, it may siya sang processes ko until maka-receive si imo nga friend or your special someone. Okay. Next one here is email list. As you can see here, of course, when say group email list, it is short for um, but it's all about email list. Um, so here, ay, actually, wait for a moment, class, ha. Actually, naka-work na ko kagabi, sir, ara lang, pa-fill out ko tani. Sige, di klase pa ko. Just, when a message is sa email list, it's up to you naman if you are subscribing in certain website. For example, subscribe about educational so that I will be updated. So of course you have to do is ano siya is you have to click subscribe, and if you don't want later on nga maka-receive kido ka, sometimes do ka sabad bala sa aton nga sa email messages, ano siya unsubscribe na, so that you don't want to read that anymore. Amo na ginaobra naton. Okay? Next one is instant messaging. The is that we have a lot of app nowadays where in class this occurs in real time, wherein this you can communicate right away with your friends, and even in your family. So service is actually magambagita class real time. Of course, it's a ano ganit siya? It's a real time means that you and with whom you are conversing are online at the same time. Amo na siya yung tawag naton nga real time. Next one, chat. So sa chat naman, we are using our group chat. Of course, it's a real time. You can consider that. What else? Whatever the other examples of app, it can depende naman sa inyo kung ano ang ginapagamit sa inyo or whatsoever, kung ano ang inyo nga mas way. Okay, this chat is of course there wherein you can converse. This takes a place on a mobile computer or mobile device with many other online users, with your classmates. If you want to ask or to verify with your classmates, of course you have to do is send a message in your messenger, so that your friend or your classmates could reply sa imo. So sa chat room, magambal naman kita na klasang chat room, of course, they can actually, anyone you can participate in each term in the conversation. For example, si teacher, mag-post na siya about some certain topic. For example, in your part is you have the UN, World Wide Web. What can you say about this? Of course, there is a continuation of messages there under that question. Sa, for example, sa ato naman nga ano ni class chat group, of course you have to do is to reply on that kung, well, for example, if you have questions you can have it, or for example on Facebook social learning group, basta it's related to that certain topic. Okay, then we have your online discussion forums. We call this online discussion forum. So this will participate you in the discussion. So si user naman niya, mag-post man na sa message niya to reply sa question sa iya nga teacher, or kung anyone nga nag-post dira. So you have to do is mag-reply lang kamo dira sa iya nga thread. So in that question nga related sa muna nga topic. So kumbaga, uh, maghambal kita online discussion. It's of course a online area which users have written discussion about a particular subject, especially is example sa aton nga klase amo na siya. Okay. Next one here we have um voice over IP, of course. This is short for VoIP. IP. So this enables users to speak to other users via internet connection. So if you have your messenger there, we of course isama, you're gonna do is having a video chat with your friends of your family. So it's a real time also. Then we have here the file transfer protocol. So of course, or we can call ITP. It's internet standard that permits file uploading and downloading and from other computers on the internet. So we're in plus diri ang uploading process of transferring files from your computer to, or we call, or in even in your mobile device to a server on the internet. Okay. Next one is Nitiquette. Of course, this will be our last topic on this related to internet and World Wide Web. Of course, you have to know the Nitiquette. This is short for internet etiquette. So this is code of acceptable behavior. So this includes the rules for all aspects of the internet. As you can see here, class, ang kumbaga ang proverbs gininablang ba, just treat others as you would like to treat to you. Kung we're in class, kung okay ang pag-treat mo sa imo nga friends sa dito sa Facebook, or kung diin man sa internet, for example, kung naglain buot mo, if nag-post ka to, of course there is a reply message on that nga nagasaway sa imo. Kumbaga class, you have to consider the following guidelines of online communication. Of course, you have to be polite. You have to, so that you can avoid offensive language. Kung hindi maglain pagid buot mo, so you have to do is of course to know that. And then as you can see, some of your classmates or your friends class, nag-upload sila sang message nga wherein they are using all caps. Of course, class, you have to know that kung what is the meaning of that all caps. This means actually nga akig ka. Muna nag-message imo, oh, na ano ka, what happened to you, maamo na siya. So, you have to consider that one. So, of course, you have to avoid sending or posting flames sa Facebook and whatever man nga social media nga gamiton mo. So that if you want okay ang pag-treat sa imo, of course, mayo pan pagpa-treat sa imo. Okay? Any questions so far here? Then class, for recap, of course, we have studied the following: the evolution of the internet, how to access and connect to the internet, the components, of course, of a web address, the purpose of web browsers, and the types of websites. So we have also discussed the um, how web pages users craft audio virtuality and login. Discuss mo na nato e-commerce and of course the rules of Unity Ticket. So our reference for this topic is the Discovery 2016 by Verma and et al. Then class for our announcement. Okay, this one. Wait lang siya. Okay, everyone. Exam will be on next week. This is December 14 to 17. So class, our exam is through ZipGrade. So do is just I will share that link to you later on your schedule. And then class, our exam is just a multiple choice 50 items test. And then class, I forgot. If you chat group, our group chat is that you are required also to answer the we call this one a survey for your tablet. And then for the next sem, this will be distributed to you. So please answer that. Okay. Any questions so far? Clarifications? And then class, our the coverage of our final exam is are the following: the application software, storage, and the internet and the World Wide Web. So it's all a multiple choice. You have to do is click there in our zip grade. So I think you're familiar with that already. If you have if you are using that one, that application. Okay. So clarifications, other concerns.
None, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Question so far. So I request everyone. This is our last meeting. So please, class, just switch on your camera for our document purposes. Okay, switch on your camera or your video cam. And then class, all your notes. Actually, this hindi man gid siya budlay. Anyway, you can find there sang ano gani tawag, the best answer. Okay, anyone? Questions pa? Wala naman. Clarifications? Okay. Guys, thank you so much for attending our class this morning. Okay, God bless everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And
God bless,
be
ma'am.
safe and
Thank you, ma'am.
okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you, ma'am.
okay, class.